Week 1 of this NFL season has come and gone. It's now time for Week 2, and let's get right into it. Here's my Week 2 start sit, and remember, follow me on Twitter at TheSportUpdates. Let's start with my Week 2 starting quarterbacks. You need to start Russell Wilson, Andy Dalton, Jake Locker, and Carson Palmer this week. Out of these guys, Jake Locker has the best matchup against Dallas. Dallas got torched last week by the Niners, and Jake Locker put up 22 fantasy points on the road against the Chiefs defense, and Dallas' defense can't stop anyone. Now, Jake Locker's at home, has a good matchup. He should have 20 plus points. Russell Wilson versus San Diego is also a very good matchup. The Atlanta Falcons gave up plenty of fantasy points to Drew Brees last week. Andy Dalton should have a good game. Now these guys, I don't think will have a good game. My Week 2 sit quarterbacks: Philip Rivers versus Seattle, RG3 versus Jacksonville, Tony Romo versus Tennessee, and Eli Manning versus Arizona. Phil Rivers should get like 9 points, maybe 8, but Seattle's just nasty. Like, the defense is incredible. He did not have a good week last week against Arizona at home, and now, you know, he's playing another good defense. RG3 just does not look healthy. I don't trust him. He needs to prove to me he's healthy and worthy to start before I can start him. I like his skill set, but right now he's just not playing well. Jacksonville's defense is pretty good. Tony Romo, he's probably going to throw the ball to the other team a lot, so don't start him. It's that simple. Week 2, start running backs. These guys I really love this week. Some of these guys don't have great matchups, but I just like what they're doing on the field. Knowshon Moreno versus Buffalo. I didn't think he had it in him, but he absolutely torched the New England Patriots defense. Now, he's playing Buffalo's defense, which last week gave up the 11th most fantasy points to running backs. Good matchup. Frank Gore touched the ball about 20 times last week, and he only had like 7 points, but still. Chicago's defense gave up the 9th most points, and he's going to get the ball 20 times. I'll take that. Shane Vereen versus Minnesota. Tom Brady's going to have a real good game, and Shane Vereen will be a big part of that. Darren Sproles versus Indiana. He had 18 points last week. He had a very good run, and this game's going to be high pace, a lot of offense, and Darren Sproles is perfect. It's a Monday night game, and I really like Sproles for 10 to 15 points this week. Mark Ingram versus Cleveland. He was my running back start of the week last week, and he paid off. 18 points versus the Falcons, including 2 touchdowns. And this week he plays Cleveland's defense, who gave up the 3rd most points to running backs. Le'Veon Bell murdered them. He had about 200 total yards, and Mark Ingram, he will find the end zone again, so I have trust in that. Terrence West against the Saints is another good option. Last week, on 16 carries, he had 100 yards. And I think if he gets more carries, he'll do well against the Saints, who gave up the 7th most points to running backs. So, all these guys I really like, and you should pick up on the waiver wire if they're not available. Here's the guys I don't like. Reggie Bush facing Carolina. That's not a good matchup. Reggie Bush had a bad game last week, and now he's on the road in Carolina. I'll pass. Zach Stacy versus the Rams. He just had a bad game last week, and the Buccaneers are playing some good defense, so I don't really like Stacy. He just did not look good. Ryan Matthews of Seattle. I had him as a sit last week, and he had 10 points, but now Seattle's run defense is good. I wouldn't start him. Toby Gerhart versus Washington. He got like 20 carries and didn't do anything, so I wouldn't start him either. And Maurice Jones-Drew, he's questionable against Houston, and even if he does play, I would not start him on my team. I just don't trust him. I don't like his skill set. He's kind of slow now. So even if he does play and he's active, I would not start him. So you should definitely put him on your bench for this game. Here are my starting wide receivers. Vincent Jackson didn't have a good week last week, but is now playing St. Louis's defense, who gave up a ton of points to Cordell Patterson there. Michael Floyd against the Giants is a great matchup. They gave up the 2nd most fantasy points to wide receivers last week, and Michael Floyd had 119 receiving yards last week, so I like him a lot. Kendall Wright versus Dallas. Again, I'm loving these Tennessee Titans this week. Delaney Walker, the tight end, he's going to have a good game. Jake Walker, the quarterback, and now Kendall Wright. So I like all these guys. Get your Tennessee guys in this week, because this is a dream matchup. Brandon Cooks versus Cleveland. Another one of my breakout players had 15 points last weekend. Again, this is going to be a high-scoring game with the Cleveland New Orleans game, and I think Brandon Cooks will get in the end zone. Calvin Benjamin, he'll probably get in the end zone again against Detroit. Had 92 yards and a touchdown. I like him a lot. And DeAndre Hopkins, he caught like a 70-yard pass last week, and Oakland's defense is very bad. So he can get another big pass, and I like him a lot, DeAndre Hopkins, this week. He'll look for over 15 fantasy points. Here's my wide receivers to sit. Victor Cruz versus Arizona. That's just a terrible matchup. Eli Manning can't get the ball to anyone. Victor Cruz can't run a route. He has 0 touchdowns in his last 12 games. I'll pass. Keenan Allen versus Seattle. 2 words. Richard Sherman. That's all. Eric Decker versus Green Bay. I don't really like this matchup. Green Bay's defense did a decent job on the Seattle wide receivers, and I don't like this matchup. Allen Hurns. He's a decent pick this week, but he's kind of risky. Here's why. Chad Henne had a great game last week, and that probably won't happen again. And plus, Allen Hurns had 2 very long touchdown passes. That probably won't happen again. So, unless he catches another bomb pass, a very long pass, I don't see him getting fantasy points. It's a risk, but it could pay off. I personally wouldn't start him, but it's a risk you're going to have to take. And Dwayne Bowe, I would not start against the Denver Broncos. He's coming back from a suspension. He's going to be rusty. I just won't even touch him this week. Leave him on the waiver wire. The Texans defense versus Oakland and the Titans defense versus Dallas are 2 good defenses to start this week. Last week, the Texans defense had over 30 points, and the Titans held their own against the Chiefs. I really like these guys, or these teams, and pick these guys up. Here's the teams you don't want starting. If you have the Saints defense or the Chiefs, I would not start them, but they both have bad matchups. And if I would get either the Tennessee defense or the Houston defense on the waiver wire if you have one of these teams and you don't want to start them. Again, thanks for watching. Follow me on Twitter at TheSportUpdates, and please subscribe to my channel below.